Once we signed and dated our document, we will enter a sentence acknowledging our belief that our prayer can only be answered by God's right. مستجاب بحق الله تعالى, and with the diacritics مستجاب بحق الله تعالى, and then I circle or enclose inside an oval, starting from the left side, going around without lifting my hand off the page, and closing the loop. Now the loop or the oval must be drawn clockwise. It must be closed. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it cannot touch anything that is either on the inside or the outside. Before we get to the word mustajab, let's review a couple of things. This you've seen before. بحق Allah or بحق الله, by God's right. تعالى تعالى. Whoops, sorry. Ta'ala means exalted, or he who is exalted or glorified, or when we say hallowed be his name. And since we are going down memory lane, let's go over again the first formula for respect, which is bi'idhnihi ta'ala. In this first version, the hamza, that little squiggly thing, is right underneath the alif. Here I am going to be placing it inside a carrier. There it is. Bi'idhnihi ta'ala, with his permission, with his knowledge. Bi'idhnihi, and here bihaqqillahi ta'ala, or bihaq Allah ta'ala, with or without the diacritics. Whatever makes it easier for you to pronounce, because bihaq Allah ta'ala is going to be part of the incantation. Now, let's go over the word mustajab. We have the letters mim, sin, ta, then a new letter, jim, jim, which is the equivalent to the J, or the actual sound is j. Therefore, it doesn't have that D sound in the beginning. It's sort of like a French J, J, j. Here I drew the kha, so it's similar to the kha and the ha. It is like the kha, except that the dot is underneath. So this is the J sound, j. Okay, so this is how it looks when it is just floating by itself. What does it look like when it's part of a word? Let's see. At the beginning of a word, here's one way, a little triangle with a dot underneath. Again, same rules as we've seen before for the ha and kha. Speaking of which, let's look at how it behaves in the middle of a word. So, like so. Option number 2, like so. Again, the dot is underneath. If we put the dot on top, it becomes a kha. And this is one way of placing it at the end of the word. And here's another way. Okay, assembly required. Let's put it all together, and what do we get? Mim, sin, ta, jim, alif, ba. Gotta start from the right. Mustajab. 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 Here, you know what? I'm gonna write the ta as 2 dots instead of a dash. So, same thing, either a dash or 2 dots. We've seen this before, sometime, somewhere, in some episode. Okay, what does mustajab mean? You know what? Let's wait a little bit. I gotta write a couple of other versions. So different styles for the letter sin, for the letter jim. Now, okay, what does it mean? It means answered. Did I spell this right? Yes. Answered. Mustajab bihaqqillahi ta'ala means answered by God's right, He who is exalted. Mustajab bihaqqillahi ta'ala or mustajab bihaq Allah ta'ala. And here I'm writing it in the Daheshist symbol using pencil or blue ballpoint pen. I'm drawing carefully an oval around it, going clockwise, making sure nothing touches either on the inside or the outside, closing the loop. And this brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you, and until next time.